This week we're going to finish poetry, and for your journal I had you write about your first impression of Porphyria's Lover and what that poem is all about. And now, of course, I'm going to give you my take on it based on the information that is in the poem and the symbolism, etc. Now, I'm going to read the poem because, as I have said before, poetry is really meant to be read aloud, as drama is meant to be seen. And sometimes we can catch nuances in the spoken word that we can't catch in the written word, and vice versa. But at any rate, I'm going to read the poem, and then I'm going to talk about it. Porphyria's Lover by Robert Browning. The rain set in early tonight. The sullen wind was soon awake. It tore the elm tops down for spite, and did its worst to vex the lake. I listened with heart fit to break, when glided in Porphyria. Straight she shut the cold out and the storm, and kneeled and made the cheerless grate blaze up in all the cottage warm. Which done, she rose, and from her form withdrew the dripping cloak and shawl, and laid her soiled gloves by, untied her hat, and let the damp hair fall, and last she sat down by my side and called me. When no voice replied, she put my arm about her waist, and made her smooth white shoulder bare, and all her yellow hair displaced, and stooping made my cheek lie there, and spread o'er all her yellow hair, murmuring how she loved me, she too weak for all her heart's endeavor to set its struggling passions free from pride and vainer ties to sever. Nor could tonight's gay feast restrain a sudden thought of one so pale, for love of her, and all in vain. So she was come through wind and rain. Be sure I looked up at her eyes, happy and proud. At last I knew Porphyria worshipped me. Surprise made my heart swell, and still it grew while I debated what to do. That moment she was mine, fair, perfectly pure and good. I found a thing to do, and all her hair in one long yellow string I wound 3 times, her little throat around, and strangled her. No pain felt she. I am quite sure she felt no pain. As a shut bud that holds a bee, I warily oped her lids again, laughed the blue eyes without a stain, and I untightened next the tress about her neck. Her cheek once more blushed bright beneath my burning kiss. I propped her head up as before, only this time my shoulder bore her head, which droops upon it still. The smiling, rosy little head, so glad it had its utmost will, and I, its love, am gained instead. Porphyria's love, she guessed not how her darling one wish would be heard, and thus we sat together now, and all night long we have not stirred, and yet God has not said a word. Many people, my students, find this poem appalling. And it is rather appalling because the surface story is, the persona is a male, and he is talking about being home alone. It's a very stormy night when in comes the object of his affections, Porphyria. She gets the fire going, lets down her long blonde hair, which must be very long because later when he kills her, he wraps it 3 times about her neck. Now, you need to understand you have to dig for what's going on here. She has been at a party, and we know this because of about line 25. Nor could tonight's gay feast restrain a sudden thought of one so pale. So she's been out having dinner, and he knew that she was thinking of him, and so she came to cheer him up, and she says, I really love you, but I am weak, and I can't break away from this other life that I'm out there living. And that is where we see when she says to set for all her heart's endeavor, about page 22. Sorry, I lost my space there. to set its struggling passion free from pride, and vainer ties dissever. And so she says, I love you, but I also love a life that I am leading without you, and I don't know, I'm so shallow. I don't know if I can break away from that. And so he understands that this woman does love him, and we see that in that line where he understood that Porphyria worship me. And so he strangles her and then sits with her there for the rest of the night. So what is this poem about? Well, it is about freezing a moment in time. It is about gaining one's heart's desire through any means possible. When he realizes that she loves him and what it is that she is saying, that, I adore you, I've been thinking about you while I was at this party, but I have a life out there that doesn't include you. And when we think about this, we have to ask ourselves, she's out at a party and he's not there. Why is he not there? I believe, and if I were writing a paper, I wouldn't say I believe, I would just state it. He is of a lower social class than she is. Or maybe he's very much disliked. Maybe he is a hermit. Maybe he is a loner. But she goes to parties without him, and he resents this. And she's very honest. She says, I just don't know if I can give up my other life in order to dedicate myself to you. I wish I could, but I don't know that I can. So you have a woman who is obviously, very attractive, and, who is attracted to a man who perhaps is of a lower social station than she is, which was very important in the Victorian era when this was written. And he understands this, and what is he going to do about it? I'll talk about it in the next one.